Xbox is promising more new games than ever before, more new hardware to play those games on, and even potentially more acquisitions that might happen sooner than you think. There's a lot here to discuss and go over, so let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? It's Randall419, the man with the million, back again with another video. I hope everybody is having a very good day, and if you guys can do me a huge favor, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and if you want to be notified every single time I drop a new video, make sure you hit that notification bell. Thank you guys so much for checking out today's video. So Microsoft dropped a whole bunch of information and talked to the press in the lead up to their Xbox and Bethesda showcase this Sunday, June 13th at like 10 a.m. Pacific time, and they had a whole bunch of information that they went over with analysts. They talk about how Xbox Game Pass is changing things, how people are actually subscribing to the service and still buying games at full price. There's so much here that I pretty much have to make two videos covering all those different things. But it wasn't just about Xbox Game Pass. It was about new hardware that Microsoft is making that will enable the 3 billion plus gamers around the world to be able to play the games if they want. And then it all comes down to Microsoft's own studios, where they promise a game every quarter to hit Xbox Game Pass. And how they're going to do it? Well, they're going to have to acquire more studios and invest more heavily in the studios they already own. Like I said, there's so much information here, so we're just going to dive straight in with a quote from Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, about how gaming is incredibly important to Microsoft. And this is going to set the whole stage for everything that Xbox is doing. Satya says, gaming is fundamentally aligned with our mission as a company. When you talk about Xbox's mission to bring the joy and community of gaming to everyone on the planet, which I absolutely love, that is precisely aligned with Microsoft's mission, which is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. As a company, Microsoft is all in on gaming. Gaming is the most dynamic category in the entertainment industry. 3 billion consumers look to gaming for entertainment, community creation, as well as a real sense of achievement, and our ambition is to empower each of them wherever they play. We believe that Microsoft can play a leading role in democratizing gaming and defining the future of interactive entertainment. There are really 3 key areas where we believe we have an incredible competitive advantage. First, our leadership in cloud computing. Second, the resources we have to build our subscription service, Xbox Game Pass. And third, our overall focus on empowering creators. Look, if you're an Xbox fan and if you've been doubting Microsoft's commitment to Xbox in general, then this quote should make you happy. Because Satya basically says right here, Microsoft is all in on gaming. And of course, you should know that already. They bought Bethesda for $7.5 billion, but yet people still doubt it. Gaming is a central part. It's a core pillar of Microsoft as a whole. And that comes in stark contrast to what a lot of Xbox fans felt like during the Xbox One generation, where it certainly did feel like Xbox wasn't important to Microsoft. But here we are, 2021, and Microsoft is all in on gaming. And yeah, you can make the argument that Microsoft should have been all in on gaming last gen and during the 360 gen, that they shouldn't have waited this long to build up their first-party studios. I agree with you, but the past is the past, and what's important right now is the present and the future. And it's looking pretty damn good for Xbox. So how is Xbox going to reach 3 billion gamers and be a giant in the gaming industry? Well, it's all about Xbox Game Pass. It's all about new hardware. Yes, new console hardware, to the detriment of all the naysayers that said Microsoft was going to go cloud only. You couldn't have been more wrong. And investing in your internal studios and going outside and acquiring even more. But let's talk about the thing that matters the most, games. So the intro to the Xbox Newswire post is pretty interesting, and I'm going to read it off. It says, ahead of the first ever Xbox and Bethesda showcase on Sunday, when we will unveil our best and biggest games lineup of ever. I think it's supposed to mean lineup ever. Phil Spencer, head of Xbox and Microsoft CEO, Satya Nadella, discussed the importance of gaming to Microsoft and in the world. We also shared new updates on how Xbox Game Pass is changing the way we discover, connect, and play, and how Xbox and all games from its 23 studios are coming to more screens. Now take a look at that very first sentence. Ahead of the first ever Xbox and Bethesda showcase on Sunday, when we will unveil our best and biggest games lineup ever. Well, that is pretty much shooting for the moon there. You're really hyping people up by saying it's your best and biggest games lineup ever. You've said that in previous E3s. Sometimes it was true, sometimes it wasn't. So let's see if this year's E3 on Sunday can live up to that line of the best and biggest games lineup ever. So Xbox is saying that with more than 23 studios worldwide creating games for Xbox, our goal is to release at least one new first-party game into Game Pass every quarter. Role-playing games, shooters, strategy titles, adventure games, and more are all being built by our first-party teams to ensure that there is a steady stream of compelling exclusive content to explore. Now, a lot of people are running with the very beginning of this line with more than 23 studios because there's been a lot of rumors brewing about Xbox announcing some acquisitions this Sunday, and Matt Booty does touch on the acquisition talk, which I'm going to get to. But as you can see here, Microsoft is promising at least, at the very minimum, one new game every single quarter that is going to go in Game Pass day one, whether it's from Xbox Game Studios or the studios at Bethesda. Sometimes it's going to be 2 games a quarter, sometimes it might be 3, but at the very minimum, you're going to be getting 1 game every single quarter. Now, my buddy Jez Corden over at Windows Central had this to say about all the information. He says, the full summary of the presentation can be found here, but I wanted to break out this piece separately because it's so important for various reasons. Xbox Game Studios lead Matt Booty said directly that it's Microsoft's intent to have one major exclusive from its first-party stable launch into Game Pass every single quarter, and that's a fairly tall order and really underlines Microsoft's efforts to acquire more and more studios into its first-party roster. Beyond that, Xbox Game Studios lead Matt Booty reiterated that they're continuing to invest in their core studios to build a predictable pipeline of high-quality games. Booty also noted that acquisitions are still on the table and emphasized that they're taking a disciplined approach to acquisitions, focusing on studios that Microsoft had prior relationships with, alongside a proven track record of new ideas. I've certainly heard rumors that more acquisitions are in the cards, and this could be the first sign that we could get a major announcement in that vein fairly soon. And Matt Booty has this to say, quote, so I think all this is possible because Game Pass has opened up new opportunities for our teams, from tightly crafted single-player stories to worlds that evolve over years. Our players can count on us to deliver great games. Booty also touted the autonomy Xbox Game Studios have, quote, all of our studios are creator-led. We want to give them the proper degree of autonomy so they can pursue their creative passion and make the games they're good at making. The best thing we can do is provide the guidance, resources, and support to our studios so they can make the best entertainment. I don't know about you guys, but I find it very interesting that Microsoft sort of held this press briefing with media and analysts about what Xbox is doing a couple days before they showcase to the world their best and biggest lineup ever according to them, where it's certainly possible, as rumors suggest, that Microsoft could be announcing new studios. I said on the Xbox 2 podcast, I felt very strongly that a new studio would be announced for Xbox. We'll have to wait and see. Now, Matt Booty did say that they're taking a disciplined approach to acquisitions, focusing on studios that Microsoft had prior relationships with. And if you want to know what studios Microsoft could be targeting, well, Jez Corden did say that IO Interactive is working on a title with Xbox through Global Publishing. Maybe they decide to bring IO Interactive into the fold. As Jeff Grubb said during his stream today, that Microsoft might be pursuing Avalanche, IO Interactive, and Crytek. Xbox did work with Crytek on Rise for the launch of the Xbox One, and I think we might see Avalanche's game this Sunday. So we can see all the investment that Microsoft is putting into Xbox. They're promising one new game hitting Game Pass every single quarter from their studios. They're continuing to invest in studios by hiring talent for their internal studios, and then still having acquisitions on the table. But then there's hardware, new hardware, whether it's cloud related, but most importantly, at least for me, and probably most of you watching, console hardware is still going to be a thing. You see, Liz Harmon, CVP of Gaming Experiences and Platforms, said Microsoft was already working on new hardware, some of which won't come to light for years. Cloud is key to our hardware and Game Pass roadmaps. but no one should think we're slowing down on our core console engineering. In fact, we're accelerating it. We're already hard at work on new hardware and platforms, some of which won't come to light for years. But even as we build for the future, we're focused on extending the Xbox experience to more devices today so we can reach more people. While we continue to expand in PC and mobile, console remains our flagship experience. We want to deliver the most powerful, capable consoles in the world, devices that empower our players to enjoy amazing games for years to come, including gameplay we can't even imagine yet. So what sort of new hardware can we expect from Xbox? Will they actually make a handheld device? We know that xCloud is incredibly important to Xbox reaching all these gamers. Is mobile an area that Xbox wants to enter in and make a Switch-like device in a few years? Potentially. Then of course there's the console itself. I'm sure we're probably going to see slim revisions of the Xbox Series X in a couple years. Will we see a mid-gen refresh? That's probably still up in the air, but I definitely think we will see another console generation, whether it's 5, 6, 7 years from now, with incredibly powerful hardware. Like Liz Harmon says, they want to deliver the most powerful, capable consoles in the world, and I don't think that's going to go away. They're going to deliver that, and then they're going to put those blades into the cloud so people all across the globe can play everything that Xbox has to offer. Now, there was even more information dropped during this event about how Xbox Game Pass is changing things for EA and Outriders, MLB The Show, and a whole bunch of stuff that I'm gonna have to cover in a video tomorrow. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell if you want to be notified immediately whenever I drop a video like this. Please share this video out on social media like Facebook or Twitter. I would appreciate that. And if you want to take your support even further, you can always hit that join button where you will get access to channel badges and emotes for the Xbox 2 podcast we do every single week with Jez Corden from Windows Central. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It truly means the world to me, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.